I give you Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus.
Hey, what's up guys, it's Fisayo here, and I just want to preface this video by saying that I'm not in any way trying to discredit the S9 or the S9 Plus. We've all seen the specs and we've seen the flood of first impression videos. The S9 is actually a very great device. I use the iPhone X as my daily driver right now, and on paper the S9 beats it out by miles. However, there's nothing new under the sun and innovation doesn't exist in a vacuum. So this video is my take on the features of the S9 and where I think the inspiration must have come from. The whole idea or the whole point of this video is to kind of retrace our steps to some origins, and also I'd love to know if Samsung does it better or not. Just in case you find yourself liking this video, please hit the thumbs up button and also subscribe if you haven't already. And without further ado, let's get to the video. The first thing we'll start with is the camera, and the camera was definitely the highlight of the S9 launch, and it quickly became what was seemingly the most talked about feature with regards to the phone. Well, apart from the fact that the S9 has quite a strikingly similar design to the S8 and the S8 Plus, which a lot of people went off about. One of the most prominent features of the S9's camera is its ability to shoot at 960 frames per second in 720p. This is novel regardless, but who did it first? That would be the Sony Xperia XZ Premium, which was announced last year in February of 2017, and in fact that is exactly 1 year from today. It also shoots, as you've probably guessed, 960 frames per second in 720p as well. And although the Sony Xperia Z has an aperture of f2.0, the f1.5 aperture on the S9 could definitely help bump up the quality, and that's something I would be willing to test out. The S9 also shoots 240 frames per second in 1080p, and again the iPhone X, which was released in October 2017, does 240 frames per second in 1080p as well. And as far as the iPhone X goes, that's the highest it can go with regards to slow motion video. Another thing about the S9's camera hardware wise is the dual cameras and its vertical alignment. Now this might seem like a trivial thing. The iPhone X is also vertical looking, and both of them utilize one wide angle lens and one telephoto lens. But not to be mistaken here, a bunch of other phones have also come out with dual vertically aligned cameras. In fact, the first ever mobile phone to have dual cameras was a Samsung flip phone, exclusive to the Korean market, that launched just 2 months before the original iPhone was launched. And the first ever smartphone to have a dual camera was arguably the HTC Evo 3D, which were both vertical. With regards to adjustable aperture, this one is pretty interesting because Samsung themselves have made an adjustable aperture phone before. In this Engadget article dated 2017, the Samsung W2018, a Chinese exclusive flip phone again, comes with a dual aperture lens, and it's varied by 2 aperture levels at f1.5 and at f2.4, which interestingly is the exact same variance as the Samsung Galaxy S9. And still on adjustable apertures, if we go back even further in time, the Nokia N86 is actually one of the very first variable aperture cameras. The N86 was released in June 2009, and it came with 3 varying aperture levels at f2.4, f3.2 and f4.8. And back then Nokia were generally using fixed lenses like the f2.8. So that's it for the camera, and the next thing we're going to talk about now is the storage. So when I first heard that the Samsung Galaxy S9 was expandable to 400 gigabytes, I thought, wow, that is pretty huge and it's pretty interesting. But I was quickly reminded of a phone that's close to home here in the African market, and that is the Tecno Phantom 8, which I've reviewed before. You can find it in the card up above or the link in the description. The Phantom 8 is expandable to 1 terabyte, and you don't even need to look further into the African market. You can look at the LG G4 and the LG V30, and according to LG, these phones are expandable to 2 terabytes. The Samsung Galaxy S9 comes with Dolby Atmos stereo speakers. Now, Samsung says this is the loudest speaker you're going to get on a Samsung device, and I can't wait to test this out. A close comparison to the S9 here again will be the iPhone X. The iPhone X also comes with stereo speakers, and this is something I'm willing to compare, so please give a thumbs up if you want to see that video as well. The S9 now has Face plus Iris scanning, which uses a 3D modeling system. This is kind of like Face ID for the most part, which uses IR and 3D mapping to scan your face. But Samsung hasn't said much about this yet. However, it's a pretty welcome feature, it's a more secure way, and it's kind of bridging the gap of security between the iPhone and Samsung. AR Emoji is a feature on the S9 that lets you use AR or 3D modeling again to map out your face and create sort of like a lifelike or cartoon-like image of you or emoji of you, and it looks similar to the emojis on the iPhone 10. And although from what I saw at the launch of the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, I think that Samsung could have done better with the facial tracking of AR emojis. Other than that, I can't wait to see an improvement. And with regards to the origins of this, definitely it's emojis and AR emojis. And yes, the Samsung Galaxy S9 has a headphone jack. Yeah, it does have a headphone jack. The Samsung Galaxy S9 has a 1440 by 2960p 6.2-inch Super AMOLED display with a PPI of 568 on the S9 and 529 on the S9 Plus. It's lesser for some reason. And with regards to the bezels or the screen to body ratio, only a few millimeters were shaved off to make it look slightly different from the S8 and the S8 Plus, and people aren't really taking this lightly. Other than that, the S9 looks like a great device for me, and in many ways it kind of reminds me of the conundrum of the iPhone 6 and the 6S. The iPhone 6 and 6S look exactly alike, but the 6S has significantly much better specs and features like 3D touch and even a better camera. But many people I know didn't really want to move towards the 6S simply because, it looked exactly like the 6. Again, the S9 and the S8 may face similar fate because they have too many similarities just judging by the looks alone. But with regards to the features, they are very different. The S9 also promises better security, faster wireless charging, and the Samsung DeX has gotten tons of improvements as well. It's got Live Translate, which helps you translate a foreign language via Bixby Vision through the camera, and I think it will be very useful, especially if you travel. It's got a better fingerprint position now, which is more reachable and should be more comfortable, and that's something the S8 and the Note 8 seem to be lacking. Overall, you've definitely got a better phone with a better camera, and I can't wait for what the device holds and hopefully, get my hands on it for the review. That's pretty much it from me, and I certainly learned a lot from making this video. I hope you did as well. Please like and share this video if you got something. Also leave a comment down below if you have any questions for me or if there's something you think I missed. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.